Tena hili si hivyo, mambo ni matatu.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that the video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine. As you can see, Kisumu is fantastic. And maybe you could also let me know where you're watching the video from. The county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a day I did a video on this platform. And that video caused huge political storm. And there are people who almost lynched me over that video. In that video, I opined that Rigathi Gachagua is going to be on the ballot in 2027. And that there is no way Rigathi Gachagua would do whatever he's been doing just to deliver those votes to someone else. Ladies and gentlemen, do you still believe that Rigathi Gachagua might actually be on the ballot in 2027?
Are you going to be running for presidency?
Yeah.
2027?
Yes, I am. I'm a presidential candidate.
But you have legal issues.
I have no issues. None whatsoever.
So legally you are allowed to run for presidency?
What the law says is the right to vie for office is absolute. And
Even
as long as you have not exhausted all the legal remedies available to you, all the way to the Supreme Court, you must be allowed to vie. You know, you saw the Sirisia MP, he was jailed for 74 years. Convicted, he was in prison. He was allowed to run, he was elected, and the Court of Appeal vindicated him and quashed the conviction. Had he from running, he would have denied his right, constitutional right. And, you know, people try to use these cases to slow me down and to really intimidate my supporters. Oh, this man cannot run, where is he leading to? Even if I was not running, I know where I want to take my supporters. And they believe in me and they trust me. And they know I know what I'm doing.
Okay.
I am a candidate, but...
I followed Rigathi Gachagua's trip to the US, still following it. And when he held that successful event during that cultural event, something came out clearly. That even the audience there were actually pushing for Rigathi Gachagua to run for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya in 2027. And I want to assure you, if Rigathi Gachagua were to run, his chance of becoming either number 1 or number 2 are very high. But he might not become the president of the Republic of Kenya. And his candidature might actually be a gift to President William Ruto, just like I explained in that video, that Rigathi Gachagua might actually be a blessing to William Ruto in disguise. Let me read for you something which Morara Kebaso posted yesterday about the same. This is what Morara Kebaso posted, because it mirrors what I explained in that previous video. This is what Morara is posting. Since I have decided to open up and say it all today, I will also tell you this. Stop deluding yourself that you are just using Gachagua to inject Ruto. Gachagua is ambitious like any other politician. He will be on the ballot in 2027. DCP party must have a presidential candidate for it to have the euphoria needed to win several parliamentary seats that they can use to negotiate for power. That's a point. He's proceeding here to disappoint you even more. I want to assure you that if you see Gachagua's name on the ballot, it is because Ruto wants it to be there. By the laws of Kenya, he shouldn't run for public office. But if Ruto, the Lord of IBC, wants it happen, it will happen. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Morara Kebaso. And in that tweet, Morara Kebaso is revealing some 2 important things. That Rigathi Gachagua will be running because he needs that euphoria for his party to sweep the mountain. In fact, if there's one thing Rigathi Gachagua needs, it's just a clean sweep for the mountain. It's just a clean sweep of the mountain. He will be done. He will have MPs, he will have governors, he will have a party, he will qualify for political parties funding. Then Kebaso is saying, just like I was explaining to you guys the other day, that if Rigathi Gachagua were to run, then know that it is William Ruto. The truth is, if the opposition can unite, they will easily remove William Ruto from office. But William Ruto will not allow them to unite. And that's why even if Rigathi will not be running, I'm sure Kalonzo will run. I'm sure Matiang'i will also run. Ladies and gentlemen, in this video, I also want to add my take on why I strongly believe that Gachagua will be on the ballot in 2027.
Sisi tutaketi tutoe mtu mo? Kama ni mimi nitatolewa. Si mtu nitapeleka kama baisikeli ya kuibiwa. Yeah? So, na tunasema we'll agree. Kama ni mimi au wengine wote wataniona.
Before you do that, for those who are watching the channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, number one is what Morara is saying, the euphoria. Gachagua will lead seats, MPs, senators, governors, and the rest. That I've already explained. Again, Morara is giving the second point, which is William Ruto's trap. Just like I've also explained previously, that if Ruto wants Gachagua to run, he will be cleared. The truth is, even in Nairobi in the last election, Johnson Sakaja was not qualified to run for the seat. He ran because Ruto wanted him. So if Ruto will want Gachagua to run, Gachagua will be on the ballot. So I don't want to get into that. Now let me give my take now, which is number 3. I think based on the current political situation in the Republic of Kenya, there's lack of a very strong candidate who can remove William Ruto from office. At some point, there were strong feelings within William Ruto's circles that their main opponent would be Raila Odinga. The truth is, even before the handshake or the broad-based government, most people believed that the only person who could easily remove William Ruto from office was Raila Odinga. As we speak, Raila Odinga is with William Ruto. And Ruto brought Raila Odinga on his side because he believed by bringing Raila Odinga, he was going to destroy the opposition. He was not going to get a credible candidate. The truth is, as things stand today, Rigathi Gachagua is even better in terms of the vibrant politics he's been playing since he was impeached. So if you have to ask anybody in the Republic of Kenya, even those who don't agree with Rigathi Gachagua, they will tell you that the only person who can remove William Ruto from office is that Rigathi Gachagua. Most people had high hopes on Fred Matiang'i. Since he came back, I think he slowed a bit. Most people had also hoped that in the absence of Raila Odinga, Kalonzo Musyoka was going to step up. He's not. So as things stand today, if you're not reading about William Ruto, you are reading about Rigathi Gachagua. Number 4, I think it's about Mount Kenya politics. There is Uhuru Kenyatta factor, there is Rigathi Gachagua factor. And then a third force is also coming in the name of Moses Kuria, Mwangi Kiunjuri. I want also to say maybe Peter Munya. So how do you think, or how do you expect Rigathi Gachagua to deal with those forces? He can only deal with those forces if he becomes a presidential candidate. And as a presidential candidate, his party will attract more people. As a presidential candidate, he will be able to consolidate the mountain. Because, for example, Jubilee Party will not present a presidential candidate. They are pushing for Matiang'i. But if Matiang'i is running here, Rigathi is running here, and to take the toe and to give to the mountain, who do you think they will pick? Rigathi needs those numbers to stamp his authority as Mount Kenya kingpin. In fact, what Rigathi Gachagua has been praying for, he wants to be another Raila Odinga, to an extent that even if he won't win, he will have the numbers to continue influencing politics. There is also the political parties' funds. ODM party is surviving, or has survived up to today, because of the funding it gets from the government. And for you to qualify, for a political party to qualify for that funding, the threshold, and one of the thresholds is the numbers you are bringing to the table. Presidential numbers, parliamentary, there's a way they calculate it. So that if Rigathi were, for example, were to join with Kalonzo, then they'll be able also to figure out how to allocate some of those presidential votes to Rigathi. But if Rigathi himself is the presidential candidate and he has his party, it will be easy for the political parties, it will be easy to decide how much he will qualify for. And with the political party's funds, he will be a party boss, running a party office. I mean, he can even put himself as a salary there. And importantly, I think it's also about the 2027 presidential elections in two ways. There is the negotiations. As a presidential candidate, he can negotiate with the rest that, Ruto, na mimi, now that I have political party, you have yours, we can negotiate. He can negotiate with Kalonzo that let us all go to the ballot. If you become number 2, I support you. If I become number 2, I support you. You support me. Even Ruto, if, for example, let's say we go for a rerun, Ruto can decide now to reach out to Rigathi Gachagua after running and maybe becoming number 3 or number 4 and tell him, now support me, let us have this thing in public. And of course, there's also that gamble. He might want to try to gamble with the runoff. You see, the Kikuyu numbers or the Mount Kenya numbers cannot be underrated in the Republic of Kenya. The real numbers. And there are Kenyans who currently just love Rigathi Gachagua's brand of politics. For me, I'm not there. I want to assure you, for me, I still see Rigathi Gachagua, the same Rigathi Gachagua I used to see during Azimio protests, because I was part of those protests. The guy who used to wake up very early in the morning to go and deal with us. I still see him like that. But there are people now who really believe in Rigathi Gachagua. So Rigathi can easily become number 2, and he believes that if he becomes number 2 and the rage against Kenya is still very high, the rage against William Ruto is still very high, then Kenyans can really decide to support him. And he can easily become the president. I don't know what to think, but that's my take. Until next time, this is Makwiny. Bye-bye.